Zhuwao. He is President Mugabe's nephew and is speaking in his personal capacity. Patrick, thank you very much for joining us on SABC News. Now, where is President Mugabe and First Lady Grace Mugabe at the moment? Are they safe?
I think first, let's get the terminology correct, my sister. The banner behind you talks about a Zimbabwe crisis. Let's be clear that we are not talking about a crisis. We are talking about a coup. There is a coup that is currently underway in Zimbabwe. And that's the first thing that we need to be able to establish. Under no circumstances should we allow a regression of the democratic project to go back towards military takeovers. That's the first thing that we need to be able to establish, is that what is happening in Zimbabwe is not a crisis, it is a military coup. And how is this coup unfolding? This coup, unfortunately, my sister, is unfolding in that the plotters of this coup have chosen to abuse Zimbabweans and make and manufacture what they are calling a popular uprising, so that they can mask this coup that they are engaging in. And this coup, by the way, is rather laughable, because it is a coup that is meant to bolster the fortunes of one presidential aspirant by the name of Emmerson Mnangagwa, who failed to be able to navigate his way through the political processes of ZANU-PF. Can you imagine, my sister, that you in South Africa are going for an elective conference of the ANC, and then the South African National Defence Force then comes in and says, no, the president that must be the president of the ANC must be Nkosazana, or it must be Cyril. That is wrong. The military is a national institution which must never, ever be utilized for any fact agenda. And that really is the major problem that is happening, my
Patrick,
sister.
I just want to come in there. I mean, you've said some interesting things and some clarity there on our banner, where you say, it's not a crisis and it's actually a coup, something that we have referred to over time, Patrick. Now, I just want to go back to what's currently happening with the Mugabe specifically, because a lot of the time we've been getting, the one side of what's taking place on the streets of Zimbabwe. But will the president, step down? How are they? What is he saying?
Let me tell you what is happening on the streets of Zimbabwe. And I'm also going to teach you a Shona word, my sister. What is happening on the streets of Zimbabwe is that there are people that are being played, but there are people that are being played like puppets. And in Shona, it is called kuitiswa. There are people who are kuitiswa. Can you repeat the word kuitiswa? And that is happening. And they are working for a factional agenda, for one person that has failed to master the necessary political support to further his political ambitions. And it's so sad, when you don't know that urukuitiswa. It's sad.
Patrick, we'll have to leave it there. Thank you very much for joining us on SABC News. That was Patrick Zhuwao joining us from Zimbabwe. More news after the break. Don't go anywhere.